Some of you robots think exactly the same. And the sad part about how y'all think, two sad parts. The most sad part about how y'all think is that y'all don't think. And the other sad part about it is you have no clue that your thought process literally is like everyone else's around you. When you don't apply the principles of logic, you can't strengthen your tool of reason and ration. You're all fluff and narrative based when you can't apply your own critical thought. Most drones and most sheep abide by the narrative that they've been told. So most you niggas just spew back to me the same shit literally Stephen A. Smith just said on TV. Or the same shit you heard, I don't know, Don Lennon say on NBC. But most of you motherfuckers don't even use your brain so much that y'all don't even know that somebody else is using your brain for you. That's Gene Lewis. Shout out to Gene Lewis, because it's all love here, but I'm about to show y'all how a bot talks. For one, the video is of me saying Kyrie Irving is being made an example of by the NBA, right? He's being made an example of by the NBA when you go against the system. Logically, can we agree that the NBA is a system in place? Yes. Okay. Can we agree that Kyrie Irving is receiving some type of punishment for his actions, whether it's media ridicule, suspension, investigations? Logically, we can, yes. So, Kyrie Irving is being made an example of is not even a crazy statement. Neither is him being an example of what happens when you go against the system. If you didn't watch the video, my argument was simply that Kyrie's doing Kyrie and niggas feel a certain type of way. I'm not Kyrie, so I don't feel a certain way about how Kyrie moves. And for one, I never just support the system of exploitation when somebody's moving in a way that is not contractually agreeable. So now let's look at his statements. Bruh, this video is idiotic. I'm gonna pick apart everything this nigga said. For one, he has no explanation. A lot of drones have opinions without substance. So this video is idiotic. I would rather you tell me why it's idiotic, right? Okay, his next statement. If Kyrie wants to retire and live his life, that's fine. Who said anything about retirement, right? But right now he's signed to a $150 million deal to play basketball. True. What the fuck does that have to do with the NBA making an example out of him for not complying to his contract? I know he signed to a $150 million deal to play basketball. So what are you even telling me right now? What is your argument? Why is the video idiotic? Because Kyrie breached his contract? I don't get I don't even get his point. Fuck is you talking about now? He's just talking, you know what I'm saying, through text. He didn't even tell his coach he wasn't gonna play. So what? What the fuck does that have to do with the initial point of him breaching a contract with the NBA and doing Kyrie in the NBA? Why do you feel so strongly about another man's actions, Gene Lewis? Maybe it's because you taking your position and imagining that if you were Kyrie, you would never do it. A lot of people take their position in life and look at somebody else's position envious. Then they see them acting a certain way and say, "Oh, I would never do that. I would never. If you give me that opportunity, I never." Well, you're not Kyrie. You don't have that opportunity, unfortunately for you. So why are you projecting your frequency on Kyrie? Okay, let's keep it going. He didn't tell his coach he want to play. That don't got nothing to do with nothing. Just because Kyrie doesn't have a worker's mentality doesn't mean he gets to do whatever he wants. On the principles of logic, on the fallacy of what he's saying, just because Kyrie doesn't have a worker's mentality doesn't mean he gets to do. So he's saying that people who don't have a worker's mentality, or he's refuting that people who don't have a worker's mentality can do whatever they want. My premise. Anybody, workers mentality or not, can do whatever the fuck they want. It's gonna come with NBA contingencies if he's in the system of the NBA. So my whole point of this whole video is, why do you niggas care about what he's doing? The point of lose Gene Lewis, because he's firm on his position that Kyrie did wrong. Why? Because Kyrie's not compliant to a system that he's compliant to. If he was Kyrie, he would play ball, do whatever they say, not speak, wear a mask, whatever, regardless of how he feels. But he ain't Kyrie. So my question for niggas like him is, why do you even care about how Kyrie's moving? And are you even aware that he's moving through a system that exploits people? 150 million or not. If he makes this much, how much do you think he makes the NBA or the Brooklyn Nets? You don't think. That's why you don't know how much. Okay. Kyrie is not a slave nor a victim. He's just selfish. And then another opinion. So you have all his opinions coupled with not much reason and ration. This is what y'all get confused. Logic is a principle. Logic is not the shit you just spew out. Kyrie is an idiot. That's your opinion. If Kyrie wants to retire and live his life, that's fine. That has nothing to do with anything. But right now, he's signed to a $150 million contract to play basketball. That's the one fact he has. True. So what does that mean? Because he signed to a $150 million contract to play basketball, what does that mean to you, Gene Lewis? Because we're not talking about literally slaves. I know he's not getting beaten, lashed on his back. I know he's being compensated for his actions. So it's not a literal slave. It's metaphoric. Take away your voice. Take away your rights. Take away your name. We own the name Kyrie Irving. You work for me, Kyrie Irving. If you make 150 million, I make 10 times as much as you make as the owner of Kyrie Irving. So of course Kyrie's not a literal slave back in 1850s, my guy. But metaphorically, in the system that we're in today, the modern slaves get paid, right, for their labor. You ever heard of an indentured servant? Same shit. You modernize slavery when we find out it's unethical. Damn, you not paying niggas? That's not finna last for long. Now let's create contracts. Let's create 360 deals in rap, to where TLC has to tour forever but don't get paid a dime through their contract. Let's talk about ambiguous language through these contracts that convince young kids, teens, sometimes Kyrie's probably 19, 20 signing a deal, that this contract is what it really isn't. Breaching a contract happens. Y'all are mad because he breached a contract, because with your workers mentality, you would never breach a contract. You signed, that's most people's argument. You signed the contract. Yes, he did. And he also has the liberty to breach that motherfucker too. These teams will trade you in a heartbeat. You snap your leg, they won't give two shits about you. He's just selfish. That's his opinion. Kyrie is not a slave nor a victim, my G. That's his opinion. I just gave you guys evidence as far as the new slave. If you are owned, you're comparable to a slave who was owned. If you can't say certain things without your owner's consent, then you are comparable to a slave who couldn't say certain things without getting whooped. It's an analogy, my G, Gene Lewis. Now let's keep it going. This is all I say. He doesn't have to do shit, which is literally a fact. He does not have to do anything. If you premise pretense and free will, you don't have to do shit. That's a fact to me. You're programmed to follow rules and constructs. I get it. He doesn't think like you. Now, that's my opinion. I think he's programmed to follow rules and constructs. And I think Kyrie isn't. So he doesn't think like those who are programmed. So those who are programmed won't understand. Now he says, LMAO, I'm not the one who signed the contract with the Nets. Kyrie did. What does that have to do with Kyrie's actions while signing a contract, my boy? Yes, you told me again for the 10th time he signed a contract with the Nets. What that means to you don't mean the same to me or him. I sign a contract, I can breach my contract if I want to. It may become consequential later. It may not be beneficial for me to just keep breaching contracts for my reputation, but I can do what the fuck I want still. Under your contract, construct. You sign a contract, then you abide and follow that contract. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But that's you. That ain't Kyrie. Most of you niggas is mad because y'all would follow and abide a contract that you signed even if you found out later it was through white supremacy and exploitation. Most of you are so ignorant that you don't know you're being exploited. So that's what you guys really... So Kyrie needs to honor that contract. That's an opinion. That's your opinion. That's not a fact. If you sign a contract, you're expected to honor it, but you don't have to honor it. If your contract been done grimy, there's something called a fucking rebellious slave. The new rebellious slave is someone who don't like their contract and they act out. So Kyrie don't need to do nothing. He doesn't have to do shit. That's facts. Kyrie needs to honor that contract, breaches this fact. If y'all think that you don't have to do shit, we don't have to do shit, then this is nullified. Okay, and this is what kills me. Especially when he's getting paid millions to play basketball. Most of you niggas are slaves to money. And the people who run money are your real slaves. So y'all chasing money and loving money, he emphasized, capitalized millions. Because millions to him mean freedom. But it's not freedom of speech. It's not freedom to own your name, Kyrie Irving. It's not freedom to do everything as an individual. I got more rights in some areas than some of these millionaires because they're owned. LeBron James can't say fuck the system because somebody owns him and his words. So getting paid millions don't mean you free. So a lot of you niggas just, oh, he getting paid so much money, he should be cool with being enslaved the way he's enslaved. That's not logical. You comparing entitled millionaires to slaves. Yes, I am, because it's mental. And you're probably defending Kyrie. Look at everything he's saying is just so all over the place. Rhetoric without substance. And I'm probably defending Kyrie because he's black. No. If Kyle Korver went against the NBA system, this is still a system that exploits. Anybody going against a system that exploits the people, particularly black people, then I'm for them. So he's still saying bullshit. When the Nets stop paying Kyrie, I'm sure that's when he'll show up. Maybe if Kyrie is bound by money like you, that might be the most valid shit you done said, Gene Lewis. But through this whole shit, you ain't said nothing viable other than rhetoric that everybody else in the world says. Oh, he's getting paid millions to play. He should stop. Do y'all ever question the system, though? How they treat the people who they paying millions? You guys always pinpoint and point at Kyrie Irving or all the players, how much they're getting paid, as if their rights don't exceed their pay rate. Gene Lewis, holla at me. This video going right up. Holla at me, man. Explain logically where any of this is logic. All of this is your opinion, which is cool, but my nigga, I gotta let you know. Opinions hold no water without grounds. Come jump in these grounds, my nigga. Dang.